Hello, everyone. My name is Kieu. I am 44 years old this year, and I am a farmer living in a remote mountain village. Where I live, there are no busy streets or crowded traffic. Instead, there are rivers, forests, endless mountains, and the sounds of chickens and pigs calling to one another every morning. This is my very first video. It is also the beginning of a journey to preserve the most ordinary moments of my life. There is no script, no staging, and no fancy camera work. Here, you will only find real stories about my life, the simplicity of local farmers, and the peaceful rhythm of life in the highlands of Hajiang, a place many people lovingly call the Hajiang Loop. I want to use this small corner of the internet to keep memories of my family, my children, and my husband and me, so that one day, when time has passed, we can look back and see these priceless moments. Memories that no words could ever fully describe. If you are curious about how mountain people like us live, what our daily lives are like, and the challenges we face, I hope you will stay and follow my journey. I promise that everything you see here will be completely raw and genuine. To be honest, I do not know much about editing videos. I simply record what happens, put the clips together, and upload them. If my videos seem awkward or imperfect, I hope you will be understanding and forgive my mistakes. Life in my village is very simple. Every morning, I wake up early, eat a quick breakfast, and immediately begin working. At noon, I take a short break, eat something simple, and then head back to the fields. Day after day, life follows the same peaceful routine. Yet I truly cherish and enjoy this quiet way of living. Today, I would like to invite you to come to work with me. My husband and I are preparing our tools and materials to go to our orchard. We are going to build a new roof for the small shelter there. Women in the mountains are always busy. Besides taking care of the household, I try to help my husband with physical work whenever I can, so he can finish his jobs on time for his customers. My hands became rough and calloused many years ago. My feet are covered with cracks and hardened skin, but that does not bother us. We have been living with wind, rain, and hard work since childhood. In places like this, very few people have soft and smooth hands. Perhaps only those who are well off, or those who work office jobs in the city. Our orchard is about 15 kilometers from our home. There we grow oranges, a nutritious fruit that has supported local families for decades. But in recent years, things have become much more difficult. Orange prices have dropped dramatically. Today, they sell for only about 7,000 to 12,000 Vietnamese dong per kilogram, roughly zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 US dollars. The prices are so low that many farmers have sadly cut down their orchards and switched to growing timber trees. Others have left their hometowns behind and moved to the cities in search of work. This is the dirt road leading to our orchard. During the dry season, it is manageable, but after heavy rain, it quickly becomes slippery and dangerous. Many times, sitting behind my husband on the motorbike, I look to one side and see a steep cliff. On the other side is a deep valley. Even now, my heart still skips a beat whenever we travel this road. At last, we have arrived. In front of you is a small shelter where my husband and I stay whenever we need to take care of the orchard. According to local traditions, before repairing a house or making any major changes, we always light incense and ask permission from the local spirits who protect the land and the home. Most families here still follow these customs. Once the ritual is finished, there is no time to rest. We immediately get to work. I use a hoe to dig holes for the support posts, while my husband unloads the tools and begins cutting and welding the metal roofing sheets. Whenever there is less work in the orchard, My husband takes on welding jobs to earn extra income. When I look at him, my heart aches. He carries so much responsibility for our family. Last year was especially difficult. The weather was harsh, and the orange harvest did not bring the income we had hoped for. We suffered significant losses. The stress caused him to lose hair and age far beyond his years. Many nights he lay awake, unable to sleep. But then I remind myself that life is never a smooth road. There must be twists and turns. There must be storms. Only then do we learn how to become stronger and keep moving forward. Everyone faces their own struggles, and each person must find their own way to overcome them. When I think about it carefully, I realize that I am still fortunate. My husband and I still have a home to return to. We still have a piece of land where we can work and make a living. I know there are thousands, even millions of people facing hardships far greater than ours. Because of that, no matter how difficult life becomes, my husband and I choose to smile at each other, accept what comes with peace in our hearts, and continue walking forward, hand in hand. To prepare for installing the roof, we first put together a temporary scaffold so we could stand safely while working. In our poor countryside, most farmers do these kinds of jobs themselves. It is rare for anyone to hire professional workers. From welding steel frames to operating machinery, my husband and I have taught ourselves everything along the way. We do it to save as much money as possible. Every penny comes from sweat and hard work, and there are always more important family expenses waiting ahead. My husband balances high up on the scaffold, handling the difficult tasks. Meanwhile, I stay below, carrying materials and handing him tools whenever he needs them. Out here in the mountains, having access to electricity in the orchard is already a blessing. The only problem is that the power supply is weak and unreliable. Because of that, welding takes much longer and requires much more effort than it should. This roof actually used to stand here before, but a powerful storm came through recently, and the old wooden supports had rotted away. The entire structure eventually collapsed. Today, we are rebuilding it to protect our farming tools and equipment from the rain.
Đứng chưa? Que được. Này họ bật nhiều điện rồi.
The roofing sheets you saw earlier were not purchased. A friend kindly gave them to us after he no longer needed them. That is how life is in our village. Neighbors help one another whenever they can. If someone is in need, others are always willing to share. And when somebody needs our help, my husband and I do our best to lend a hand as well. Each roofing sheet weighs around 10 to 15 kilograms and is quite awkward to carry. But for a mountain woman like me, that is nothing unusual. I have carried far heavier loads throughout my life. Years of working under the sun and rain explain why people in my village rarely have soft hands or smooth feet.
Cứ đừng cho nó trượt xuống nhé.
Mõm biết bận gì không? Đi chân này. Đó.
Quay đầu được. Mặt bằng này mặt phải chứ. Thế thì quay đầu thì tập trên này luôn.
You may notice how incredibly quiet it is here. Each household is separated by an entire hillside. Because we are so far from the main roads, electricity remains limited. Many people have asked why we do not install solar panels. The truth is that we simply cannot afford that kind of investment yet. For now, even a little electricity is better than complete darkness.
Chưa chạm tới nó đã vỡ rồi.
Once the roofing sheets were lifted into place, I helped my husband cut pieces of old rubber tire tubes into small strips. When nails are driven through the metal roof into the steel frame, these rubber pieces help seal the holes and prevent rainwater from leaking inside. It is a simple trick my husband learned through experience. Before we knew it, the sun was directly overhead. It was time to wash up and prepare lunch. This little shelter serves as our temporary resting place. Inside, you can see farming tools, work clothes, and a small bed where we lie down whenever we need a break. Unlike city kitchens with gas stoves and electric cookers, my cooking pot is chipped and blackened by years of wood smoke. Every meal depends on bundles of dry firewood gathered from around the orchard. Cooking over a wood fire is almost an art form. You must learn how to control the flames and position the pot just right. A little too much heat and the rice burns immediately. Nowadays, life has improved somewhat, and fewer families in our village still cook over smoky wood fires like this. While waiting for the rice to cook, I picked a fragrant sponge gourd growing along the fence and prepared it for soup. For the main dish, we had salted dried fish. The fish is preserved by soaking it heavily in salt and drying it under the hot sun until it becomes firm. This allows it to last for a very long time. For people in the mountains, a meal with salted fish and a bowl of rice is already considered quite satisfying. Once most of the water had evaporated from the rice pot, I moved it beside the glowing coals and rotated it carefully so the rice would cook evenly. While the fire was still hot, I boiled a kettle of water for my husband and placed a pan over the coals to fry the fish. It may look messy and primitive, but after so many years, controlling the fire feels as natural as breathing. Everything is ready now. Please join us for lunch. Our meal today consists of sponge gourd soup, fried salted fish, roasted peanuts, and a small bowl of spicy bamboo shoots with chili. Simple and humble food. Yet somehow, after a morning of hard work, every grain of rice tastes sweeter. For us, a meal like this already feels rich with happiness. After lunch, we walked through the orchard and noticed that one of our young jackfruits had ripened. So we cut it open and enjoyed it right there. My husband and I are simple people. We are not picky eaters and rarely complain about food. Anything grown by our own hands always tastes delicious to us.
Có chia tách nữa. Dẻo miếng sầu riêng đấy nhỉ.
Ngon nhỉ. Mặn.
Dẹp đi rồi ăn xong rồi thì dẹp đi rồi.
Just as we finished eating the jackfruit, dark clouds began gathering overhead. The wind picked up. Rain was clearly on its way. We hurried back to continue working before the storm arrived. Next, we needed to mix concrete for the foundation posts. I shoveled sand, poured in cement, added water, and mixed everything together until it formed a strong bond. This is work I have done many times before. There is very little that can intimidate a rural woman. Meanwhile, my husband carefully cut large plastic pipes to create molds around the base of each support post. When the concrete was ready, he filled the molds and added large stones inside to make the structure heavier and stronger. The roof supports were built the same way. After a few days, once the concrete hardens completely, the plastic molds can be removed. The posts will be solid enough to withstand even the harshest storms.
Quay cái đường méo vào đây. Cho sập xuống. Liền vào đấy á. Liền vào đấy thì làm sao mà được đấy, sập xuống. Thế thôi. Bay.
Đau ấy giờ.
Just as we were finishing, thunder suddenly roared across the sky. We worked even faster. Then the mountain rain arrived. Heavy sheets of rain poured down without warning. Sheltering beneath the small hut, we worried that the freshly poured concrete might be damaged before it had time to set. All we could do was quietly hope that everything would be all right. Look at this. The metal roof we spent all morning building performed perfectly. Not a single drop came through. The old saying is true. Eventually, the rain stopped. We breathed a sigh of relief. After the rain, the sky clears. No matter how difficult the day may be, there is often a reward waiting at the end. Today, that reward was a beautiful rainbow stretching across the hilltops, like something from a dream. And with that, my story of today's work comes to an end. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If the footage is shaky or the camera angles are not perfect, I hope you will forgive the clumsiness of this farmer. Thank you all very much. I wish you good health, happiness, and peace. Goodbye for now, and I hope to see you again in the next video.